Google lowers the axe, your news update, and we want the new Corvette right now on this edition of Arbitrage News Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage News Weekend for January 21st, 2022. I'm Joshua Stark. Google is laying off 12,000 workers, or about 6% of its workforce, becoming the latest tech company to trim staff as the economic boom that the industry rode during the COVID-19 pandemic ebbs. Google CEO Sundar Pichai, who also leads its parent company Alphabet, informed staff Friday at the Silicon Valley giant about the cuts in an email that was also posted on the company's news blog. It is the company's biggest ever round of layoffs and adds to tens of thousands of other job losses recently announced by Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook parent Meta, and other tech companies as they tighten their belts amid a darkening outlook for the industry. Just this month, there have been at least 48,000 job cuts announced by major companies in the sector. The European Union's digital policy chief warned TikTok's boss Thursday that the social media app will have to fall in line with tough new rules for online platforms set to take effect after this year. EU Commissioner Thierry Breton held a video call with Xiaoji Chu, the CEO of TikTok, the popular Chinese-owned video sharing app that's coming under increasing scrutiny from Western authorities over fears about data privacy, cybersecurity, and misinformation. The two discussed the company's plans to comply with the bloc's Digital Services Act, which is set to take effect for the biggest online companies in September. The act is a set of sweeping rules that will require platforms to reduce harmful online content and combat online risks. The first Native American woman in space ventured out on a spacewalk Friday to prep the International Space Station for more solar panels. NASA astronaut Nicole Mann emerged alongside Japan's Koichi Wakata, lugging an equipment bag. Their job was to install support struts and brackets for new solar panels launching this summer, part of a continuing effort by NASA to expand the space station's power grid. Mann, a Marine colonel and test pilot, rocketed into orbit last fall with SpaceX, becoming the first Native American woman in space. She is a member of the Wakati of the Round Valley Indian tribes in Northern California. Rabbits scamper around a play area in a climate-controlled building in suburban Hong Kong, some climbing a castle made of wood while others explore a cotton tunnel. In one of the world's most densely populated cities, where most apartments range from small to minuscule, rabbits are popular pets. And when their owners are away, there are rabbit lovers ready to look after their lonely pets at Bunny Style, a luxury rabbit resort. This is especially evident this month as the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions in Hong Kong is spurring an edge in travel for the Lunar New Year to welcome the Year of the Rabbit. Donna Lee, the owner of Bunny Style, says she's fully booked for the holiday and keeps her charges happy with regular exercise, parties, spa treatments, and lots of carrots. Lee says we aim to provide a secure environment. Lee, who has 2 pet rabbits of her own, set up Bunny Style in June, starting with just a playroom, offering space to hop in relief from Hong Kong's hot, humid weather. More after this.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This week's arbitrage blog includes Zimbabwe is mad as hell and not going to give lithium anymore. Elon on trial, not for this thing, but the other thing in 2018, you know, the tweet thing. And we talk about fast cars. Sound cool? Yeah. All this and more in this week's arbitrage blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com. Now let's go to the Chief Executive Officer and President of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, we like EVs around here, right?
Those stand for electrical vehicles, right?
Correct.
All right. I like
Correct. We'll be talking about one later on.
Ooh.
But right now, we're going to talk about batteries. Batteries are a huge part of the cost of an EV, right? The Tesla battery, from what I understand, the Model S or the Model S Plaid battery is $26,000 alone,
Excellent.
full of lithium ion.
But can you charge it?
Technically speaking, yes,
Oh, okay. Sweet.
because it's a battery.
No, I mean, like,
It's an EV.
take the credit card and charge it.
Oh, credit card. Well, you might be able to, but I probably won't. Your wallet's a little bit heavier than mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. But
So, trust me.
believe me, having employees hurt.
I understand. I do understand. So, Zimbabwe. Let's talk about them for a moment. Zimbabwe is the 6th largest producer of raw lithium and contains the largest lithium deposits in Africa.
Okay.
So, this is an interesting thing because, there's uses for lithium other than batteries. There's like pharmaceuticals. You actually can take lithium for certain things. This is not a medical show. I am not a medical doctor. I only play one on TV.
This is radio.
Dang it, Royce. So here's the thing, right?
I'm here for you.
Thanks, man. Lithium, right? Lithium is used in batteries, okay? And what is the world going to? They're going to batteries, right?
Yes.
So it is basically losing $1 billion in mineral revenue due to externalization in South Africa and UAE with gold smuggling. But we're talking about lithium here. Lithium is a horrible mineral once you take a look at it. Okay?
It is.
Yeah, I mean you can use it for a lot of things, like a lubricating grease. You can use it as a high energy additive to rocket propellant. It's also used in the medical setting as a consumable medicine for bipolar disorders and depressive disorders. And yeah, I mean there's a lot of major side effects to it, but Zimbabwe is not seeing a lot of the benefits.
There's the word.
Benefits.
That's the word we like. Benefits.
Of lithium.
We like benefits.
We like benefits around here. Yes, we do. But we have a thing that we see that mineral exports actually account for 60% of Zimbabwe's export earnings. So they are cutting us off because they're not getting the benefits from this.
Oh, well, let's talk about sodium ion.
We'll talk about that later on.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song.
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk acquired a 9% stake in Twitter to become its largest shareholder just before raising questions about the social media platform's dedication to free speech and the First Amendment. The ultimate aim of Musk's 73.5 million share purchase, worth $3 billion based on the closing price Friday, is not clear. Yet in late March, Musk, who has 80 million Twitter followers and is very active on the site, questioned free speech on Twitter and whether the platform is undermining democracy. According to the Securities and Exchange filing Monday, Musk bought the shares on March 14th, describing him as a long-term investor looking to minimize his buying and selling of the shares. That means Musk acquired the shares before the beginning of his public discourses on the First Amendment and Twitter. Yet, Musk has also raised the possibility publicly before his massive and loyal Twitter following that he would create a rival social media network. Industry analysts are skeptical about whether the mercurial CEO will remain on the sidelines for long. In a note to investors, CFRA analyst Angela Zeno wrote that although Musk's intent is unclear, Twitter could be viewed as an acquisition target because its shares have been falling since early last year. The company, according to Zeno, has failed to adequately monetize the platform during the past several years. Jack Dorsey stepped down as CEO in November. Musk's actual investment is a very small percentage of his wealth, and an all-out buyout should not be ruled out, wrote Zeno, who covers Twitter and social media. Musk's stake in Twitter more than 4 times the size of Dorsey, who co-founded the company and who was the largest individual shareholder until Musk arrived. Twitter stock surged more than 25% on Monday. Since Musk bought his stake on March 14th, shares of Twitter are up nearly 50%. Musk told his millions of followers on Twitter that he was giving serious thought to creating his own social media platform and has clashed repeatedly with financial regulators about his use of Twitter. His Twitter stock purchase comes as Musk locked into a bitter dispute with U.S. securities regulators over his ability to post on Twitter. Musk's lawyer has contended in court motions that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is infringing on the Tesla CEO's First Amendment rights. In October of 2018, Musk and Tesla agreed to pay $40 million in civil fines and for Musk to have his tweets approved by a corporate lawyer after he tweeted about having the money to take Tesla private at $420 per share. The funding was far from secured, and the electric vehicle company remains public, but Tesla's stock price jumped. The settlement specified governance changes, including Musk's ouster as board chairman, as well as pre-approval of his tweets. The SEC sought a securities fraud charge, alleging that Musk was manipulating the stock price with his posts. Musk's lawyer is now asking a U.S. District Court judge in Manhattan to throw out the settlement, contending that the SEC is harassing him and infringing on his First Amendment rights. More after this.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know, Royce, lately it just seems like everybody wants to pile on Elon.
Why not?
I mean, here's the thing. Right?
Wait, pylon?
Pylon? Elon?
Tesla? Wait a minute. Pylon? Nah, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
Going too deep.
Yeah, sorry.
Going too deep.
Electricity definitely flows through that.
Yes, it does. So here's the thing, right? He bought Tesla. Well, he founded Tesla, right?
Correct.
Founded Tesla. Had a good time with that. Was trying to take it private. It just didn't happen. Might have said some things on Twitter he probably shouldn't have. Maybe.
Sure.
A few years later, fast forward, he buys out Twitter, and it turns out to be a kind of a wow thing with that, you know. But
hey, it's all a part of the show.
Seems like everybody's piling on Elon about what happened in 2018 with the.
So now he's in court.
Yeah, now he's in court. This is a trial over a company that he tried to take private but didn't. He tried to take Tesla private for financing of $72 billion, I believe it was, and now he said, yeah, this is going to happen, and now he followed that up with more information, and it ended up not happening.
Well, it happens. Best laid plans of mice and men. He's still a man.
Right. But now he's explaining his actions under oath at a federal court in San Francisco because, the investors who own Tesla stock for a 10-day period in August 2018 have kind of gone, what?
Okay, sure, 10 days. 10 days make or break your entire portfolio? I don't think so.
You know, here's the thing, and we know that the market can turn.
It does, all the time.
And we understand that more than most, because of what we do. We do our research, and we see things. Here's the thing. When a person goes on a social network and says something, it's out there.
And you can never take it back.
And the argument with this trial is that a well-informed person who was part of the company he was talking about a buyout very, very positively, and people bought into that.
Okay, it's still hearsay. Whether you're the owner or even if it's like, hey, it's not real. But I will tell you what is real. How about that stock price? It went from around 414 all the way down to about 122.
Yeah. Tesla's gone. Wow. It's the investors are complaining about the price drops for Tesla cars. They really, aren't seeing what's going on in their own company, are they?
Well, I will say this. For the price drops, that's pretty cool. And I say that because basically that makes it qualify for the electric vehicle credit.
Yes, it does.
Also, with the stock price being as cheap as it currently is, that also means if he were to take it private now, it's 75% off. Let's go.
There you go. We're getting Teslas here, aren't we?
You can get whatever you want.
Well, guess I'll be walking for a while. More after this on Arbitrage News.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Ask people what you might find buried in the muck at the bottom of New York City's East River, and they'd likely say mob boss before thinking of mammoth bones. Yeah. But several groups of treasure hunters have taken to the waterway in recent weeks after hearing a guest on comedian Joe Rogan's podcast claim a boxcar's worth of potentially valuable prehistoric mammoth bones was dumped into the river in the 1940s. Despite a lack of evidence to back up the story, treasure seekers using boats, diving apparatus, and technology like remote-operated cameras have gone searching in hopes the murky waters are hiding woolly mammoth tusks. I think the chances are just as good as the lottery, and people buy those tickets every day, said Don Gann, 35, of North Arlington, New Jersey, a commercial diver who's been out on the water since early last week with his brother and 2 workers. It all started when John Reeves, an Alaskan gold miner with a passion for fossils, came onto the Joe Rogan Experience for an episode that aired December 30th to talk about his land, where he has personally uncovered numerous age-old bones and tusks. In the first half of the 20th century, under previous ownership, digging for gold unearthed a trove of prehistoric mammal remains. Some of that material was brought to New York City decades ago to be handed over to the American Museum of Natural History. Reeves cited a draft of a report put together by 3 men, including one who worked at the museum, that included a reference to some fossils and bones deemed unsuitable for the museum being dumped into the river. "I'm going to start a bone rush," Reeves told Rogan before reading from the draft and giving out a location, East River Drive, which is now known as the FDR River Drive, or the FDR Drive, at around 65th Street. "We'll see if anyone out there's got a sense of adventure," he said later, adding, "Let me tell you something about mammoth bones, mammoth tusks. They're extremely valuable." After the episode aired, the American Museum of Natural History threw water as cold as the East River on the tail. "We do not have any record of the disposal of these fossils in the East River, nor have we been able to find any record of this report in the museum's archives or other scientific sources," it said in a statement. When reached by the press by telephone, Reeves refused to talk and instead told a reporter to read the pages of the draft he had posted on social media before hanging up. He didn't answer other calls and emails. The pages posted on social media identify 3 men as the authors: Richard Osborne, an anthropologist; Robert E. Vander, who formerly worked at the American Museum of Natural History's Paleontology Department; and Robert Sattler, an archaeologist with a consortium of Alaska Native tribes. Reached by the press, Sattler told the story about the dumped bones, said it came from Osborne, who died in 2005. The document cited by Reeves was real, he said, and was written in the mid-1990s, but it wasn't something intended for an academic journal. It was a starting point for something, maybe a book based on Osborne's knowledge of a period in Alaska when mammoth remains were being discovered in plenty. Osborne's father worked at a company involved in the digging. Sattler said Osborne spent time around the operation as a young man and probably heard the story about surplus bones being dumped in the river secondhand. Sattler said he didn't have any specifics beyond Osborne's recollections. "I'm going to go buy some diving equipment. More after this."
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Royce, earlier we talked about the Tesla and how we kind of wanted one around here. I say we get a Corvette.
Okay.
They're hybrids now.
So are Borg, but we're not going around making everyone Borg.
True, but the 2024 Corvette is something called the E-Ray. It's going to be a gas-electric hybrid, the first all-wheel drive version of the Corvette, and it's going to be $104,000. So I say,
sweet.
Let's do it.
So out of our price range, got it.
Really?
I don't make that much. You don't make that
Dang
much.
it.
What are we going to do?
Dang it. Well, it's going to be something interesting because it does have the traditional 6.2-liter V8 that's going to be powering the back wheels, but powering the front wheels is going to be an electric motor. And it's fast.
How fast? Is there a fast button?
I certainly hope so. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds. General Motors says it can cover a quarter mile in 10.5 seconds.
That's beautiful. That's real beautiful.
That's fast. That's actually faster than the Z06 and the Z07, which are racetrack ready versions of the Corvette, basically.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And the rear tires are so wide that they can compete with the Indianapolis 500. I want one.
All right. Add it to the wish list. Santa might be good this year.
Will you be Santa?
Sure, as long as Micro Machines is still in business.
I'm not sitting on your lap, dude.
Nope, I'm talking about Micro Machines.
So...
I did that once for my wife. She didn't like that very much. I'm like, hey, babe, I got you a new Porsche. She went outside, found a Matchbox Micro Machine car out there. Needless to say, the sofa was rather comfy that night.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah.
So it's not overselling the practicality here of a Corvette, but the E-Ray does come with all-season tires, and the all-wheel drive system is configured so that it's a really nice anti-skid system that's really good in this system because Corvettes are not known for their stability. Trust me on that one.
So is it self-driving yet?
No. But you do get an electric motor that adds about 160 horsepower to the 495 generated by the V8, which is a total of 655 horsepower. Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
And
not bad.
They absolutely put every bit of it to the wheels. So.
Oh, sweet. Hey, this is actually a little bit slower than my old Mustang. Oh, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is the latest. Talking about the latest generation of the Corvette. This is a C8, and it's about 70 years after the first one was introduced in 1953. So we're looking at kind of an evolution here of the Corvette, and there's really a test bed here for the technology that's in this. Looks really cool.
Yeah. Wow. I still can't believe only 34,000 Corvettes were sold last year.
Right? We got one parked out in the garage, not mine though.
Maybe we can rent it, borrow it.
That'd be a good idea.
Timeshare on the Corvette.
Have a great weekend.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC,